Hey guys, it's Justin, Prime Bees. So you're watching this video because you probably bought a nuke and you're gonna need to install it. First things first, if you don't have a smoker lit, you're wrong. Second thing is, I like to take my nuke box. You've probably been traveling in the car for a couple hours. So what you're gonna wanna do is set it right next to the hive that you wanna place in. Set it down and then open it up and let all the foragers orientate and fly out and let them settle down. Whenever it comes down to your box, if you're not running an internal feeder, this is the setup I like to do. You're going to want to remove 5 frames and leave 5 frames in. That is if you're using 10 frame equipment. If you're using 8 frame equipment, then you leave 3 frames in because you're going to be putting 5 frames in. Alright. So here's your setup on 10 frame equipment with no internal feeder. If you are going to use an internal feeder goes all the way to the exterior. This is also called a division board feeder. I like to do the feeder, then 1 undrawn frame, and then have a spot for the 5 frames that you're going to be taking out of this nuke. This is also called a jester. It's made out of plastic. It goes from these 5 frames directly into here. And then on nukes that I sell, the queen is usually going to be caged in a little plastic queen cage like this. This is called a BZ queen cage. It snaps together like that, and then it goes like that. So she will be in here with usually 3 to 5 attendants. Whenever it comes time to release her, the best way to release her is actually a straight releasal, where you just do that, and then you could release the queen. If you're timid and don't want to do that, you could actually remove the cork here and then place this in between the frames, and they will chew through this candy and do a slow release. I do not recommend that. This queen has already been introduced. This is her brood, this is her nest. So you could actually just open this cage up and do a direct release. Okay, so we're gonna open up this nuke box to let foragers fly out. So kind of get something in here. And these bees have probably been traveling in the car for a while, so the ones that are coming out are not going to be happy. You better have a smoker lit and don't stand in front of it. Kind of let them do their thing. Maybe put a little bit of smoke down. You should be wearing your PPE, which is going to be a veil and something to cover your arms, legs, hands, feet. If you're out here in shorts and flip-flops and nothing else and you get stung, that is all your fault. So we're going to let them orientate. You can let them orientate anywhere from 30 seconds to 30 minutes. They could actually live in this box for quite some time. So if you get home and it's raining or it's dark, just place them out, open them up, and let them do their thing where the hive is going to be, and then you can transfer it whenever you got a good sunny day. So if you open up, you're going to have a box full of bees. Queen will be right on top, right here. And you're going to have a bunch of bees all in this box. So queen's in the cage, you got bees in the box. You want to kind of light smoke, kind of push them down a little bit. And if you notice, I'm working from behind the hive, not in front of the hive. So what I like to do is I go to the very outer frame, kind of wedge it out, get my hands in there and slowly pull it out. That's going to be a honey frame. Honey. So we're going to drop that right here. And this whole time it's okay to just leave the queen in her cage right there, because we'll release her in a minute. Pull this out. So we're keeping it in order. We're not flip-flopping anything. We're just putting it straight in the box. Now that I got all the frames in, one of my things I really prefer to do is to get all the frames tight, like that. If not, you start having a little bit of cross comb. I kind of center the frames as well. If you have a lot of spacing and stuff, things get wonky. So what I like to do is kind of give them a little smoke, kind of get them back in, smoke the bees in the box. Either you could just dump all these bees in there, or if you're timid on doing that, you set your box down here and they will all make their way back up into this box. I'll show you kind of what a little shake looks like. Now you got bees flying everywhere, but they all know that this is their house. They can smell it, they smell their queen. We're gonna look at the front of this hive. If you look at the front of the hive, we have a reducer on. This is about the quarter part. This is what I like to run whenever it's a nuke and it's springtime. After they've built out 2 more frames, I usually take this completely off if they're in a heavy flow. If there's any kind of robbing or anything kind of weird, just leave it on this and you're gonna be safe. When we go to button it up, telescoping cover, I always put on corners like this and kind of spin it a little bit. Got the bees down, the lid on, like that. And you might still have some bees in this box. So either you can leave this box underneath like this, or a lot of times what I do is I'll just set it on top like that, and all the bees are gonna make their way. See, they still think she's in this cage, but any bees flying around can smell her in that cage and they're gonna go into this hive. I did say earlier that the bees can stay in one of these nuke boxes, but this queen has been caged with a cork, so they're not going to release the queen in this box. And honestly, I wouldn't wait more than 72 hours to place the bees from this box into a larger hive, because these boxes are pretty full of bees and you're going to end up having swarm possibilities. So the more bees in a box and the tighter it gets and the more they're bringing in, the more possibility of doing a swarm. And so a nuke will swarm very, very quickly if you're not managing space. So whenever you get this home, first chance that you have, they need to go into a larger equipment.